Hello and welcome to the second episode of Will It Roll. The first one was incredibly successful for us, so thank you for everybody who liked and commented and stuff. I think it broke our record for a number of likes on a video, which is pretty cool. We're looking at the first car at the moment. If anybody is cool and artistic and fancies making us a car, like to go in these talky bits, if I do any more of these talky bits for Will It Roll series, and that would be really awesome because I'm terrible at anything art related. So yeah, if you fancy making us one of them, then yeah, please do send it in to us, and it will end up in a video at some point. So we have some more cars to roll for you. The first one is the Ford Ka. This has 68 horsepower, which isn't very much at all. In fact, that's like the same as my car in real life. I'm quite surprised by that, how little horsepower this thing has. It doesn't weigh very much. Oh, also, importantly, remember, it's TJ's favourite car, okay? Just remember that one. It will probably come in useful later in video life. I don't know, just remember that fact. Pros, it is a relatively cheap city car, like 10,000 credits. Cons, it's just not very exciting. I don't really have a problem with it as such. It's just pretty boring. It's much better than the original one. The original one was horrible. This one, it looks okay. It's just, yeah, it's not the most exciting car in the world. It's relatively small, relatively cheap, but I don't know. It's just sort of meh. Not particularly an interesting car in any way. So yes, the Ka is unmodified for this run. And yes, a little bit problematic. It was actually getting on two wheels. I think that's like the first attempt I did. It was getting on two wheels relatively well, but there are some problems with the Ka. It's so slow. I'm used to driving very fast cars on Forza, and this one here feels so slow, which makes it quite difficult to be doing this sort of stunt, I guess. The most interesting thing I managed to do was kind of use some handbrake and make some tyre squeal and wheel spin and smoke. I was surprised actually you can make this car wheel spin a little bit, despite its very little horsepowers. But yeah, that was literally about the most exciting thing that it's ever done. It was going, this is sort of 5-6 minutes in, and it was still kind of maybe thinking about going on two wheels, but it wasn't really having much luck, and I was thinking about sort of going and upgrading it when this happened, and I don't quite know how I managed to do it, but there we go. The Ka is rolling, and it does like 3 rolls, I think. Oh, it does 2.5 rolls, there we go, and it's parked on its side. And yeah, I was actually quite surprised that didn't require modifying. I mean, it is a very light car. It's actually quite small and quite low, so central of gravity is a bit weird. So yes, up next we have, this was one of the most requested cars, or sort of cars anyway. We have an LMP car. I'm not sure if this is an LMP1 or LMP2, don't really know. 647 horsepower, doesn't weigh very much, incredibly noisy like all R1 cars. The pros are, of course, it is stupidly fast because it's a racing car. The cons, it's not road legal, there's terrible visibility, and it's not exactly cheap, it's like 1 million credits. This car has an upgrade, but I didn't mean to put it there. It has the restrictors taken off. Basically, I don't really care much for R1 cars. I tend not to really drive them very much, and I found this one in my garage because I knew I was going to have to modify the suspension. So yeah, this one was in my garage, and it had the restrictors taken off it for whatever reason it might be. So yes, it has that taken off it, but no other upgrades, of course, because you don't need any upgrades on an R1 car. Now, main problem with this is stupid speed. It's so fast through anywhere on this track that yeah, it's really hard. You've got to aim for a very precise point on this corner to sort of get it to roll, and you go so fast in this thing that it's actually quite difficult to aim for. As you see, they're also having difficulties getting it even onto two wheels. Now, to get this to even consider doing what we're trying to do with it, I had to raise the suspension and basically make everything incredibly stiff. As you can see there, I get it wrong again and ended up jumping across the curb. Yeah, that was the way to sort of get us to do this, so the suspension was raised up. But no upgrades were used because it's all standard thing. Here, so close. Because it's going so fast, if you do get it on two wheels, you end up in the wall very quickly, and the wall there pretty much screwed me over. I mean, I just sort of bounced off it, and yeah, I didn't get the roll. One issue with the way I'd sort of adjusted the suspension and everything meant it was an interesting car to handle. It handled so strangely. It's a really weird thing to drive, and so yeah, I ended up spinning it. I'm going to go drive in reverse. But, of course, I am good at rolling cars, so we continued for, I don't know, it's about 15 minutes. And there we go, the LMP car has rolled, and it's lost its rear wing. I was quite surprised, actually. I thought that was going to be a harder car to roll than it actually was. But yeah, that was about 15 minutes driving, I think, with that car. And yeah, it fell over, and is now all broken. And the final car, I was really hoping people were going to suggest this, because I wanted to do this one. This is the Hummer H1 Alfa. It's just incredible. 300 horsepower. It's got many torques, which is a good thing, I guess, maybe. It is also rather heavy. It probably weighs about the same as my house, to be honest, like 8,000 pounds, and I couldn't be bothered to work that out into tons. It's a lot. Pros, it could probably move a small moon. The cons are it's about as manoeuvrable as a small moon. It's a silly car to be in a racing game, but I love it. We raced these a while ago. It was huge fun. So yes, we're going to try and roll the Hummer. Now, you would think the Hummer is going to be quite a hard car to roll because it's very high and it weighs an awful lot. But that's actually going to play to its advantage. Rolling the cars is all to do with the centre of gravity. So the length, the height, and the width. I think maybe the weight. I don't know. I don't know enough about physics to talk about that properly. But yeah, that's all going to be taken into account. If it has a higher centre of gravity, then it's easier to roll. That was the first attempt with the Hummer. I was quite impressed. It got some wheels off the ground. This is all standard, by the way. I didn't modify the Hummer. I'll also point out that now that I'm turning around to go back again, I'm not doing the run from the other direction. Reason being, I suspected that if I rolled it going the other way, the camera would just go behind the fence because the Hummer is so huge. So that's why you see me only attempting it from this way. This is the second attempt, and oh, it's looking more promising. It nearly went over there. I hit the wall a little bit, but it wasn't rolling. But yeah, there's looking promising. I don't think it's going to need any upgrades. Get it turned around. It's just a silly sight, this thing going around. But as I was saying, centre of gravity very high in this car, which means that it should be an easier car to roll than the LMP car. So here we go. This is the third attempt. And it's going, it's on its side, no, wall, nah, the wall betrayed me again, see, stupid wall. It span around on its side, not really a roll, so yeah, we're not going to be satisfied with that, we're going to keep going, try again, I'm going to get a proper roll out of this thing. So this is attempt number 4, I was thinking things were going well, each time we were progressing, we were getting closer, and oh, that was useless. It's just terrible. It's kind of a weird car, this thing. Driving this, you sort of attack the curb to get it to roll. Sometimes it's utterly fantastic, like you saw, and other times it's really not that fantastic. So yeah, I was struggling a little bit. I was starting considering having to put some upgrades in, but I was still pretty sure this thing would go over. I mean, we saw it, the third attempt, it sort of spun around on its door a bit, and it was only didn't fall over because the wall got into the way. And so, sure enough, after a bit more driving, attempting, whatever you want to call it, we managed to get it to roll, and that's the most ridiculous sight anybody has ever seen in Forza. And then it's fine, it just lands on its wheels. Everything's good, just, drive it off, it's a Hummer, nothing kills it. But yeah, that's just a silly sight, the Hummer rolling. Yeah, so I am not defeated by any car yet, and I'm amazed because I thought the LMP car was going to be the end of me, but no, we managed to roll that. Going to leave you with a super slow-mo of the Hummer doing a roll because it's silly. But yeah, that is it for this episode, guys. So thank you very much for watching. If you have cars that you want to see me throw at the wall, I may try doing it on Maple Valley instead of a Sunset, sort of bringing some variety. Yes, if you have cars you want to see me roll, then please do leave them in the comment section and leave a like and stuff. See if we can beat last video's record for likes and stuff. But yeah, thank you very much for watching, everybody, and until next time, goodbye.